All righty, who we got in the chat here? Oh, the Emperor's in the house. Chris Mitchell, the Emperor. Matt Downer, Jawara, author of 8 books. We got Tom Z1, Cesar. I thought love didn't exist. It doesn't. Polska Bob, you guys are all good, yo. I just figured a quick stream back from my work event full of hypergamy, full of all sorts of debauchery, especially a lot of the female sales reps, pharmaceutical reps. Lots of, hey, even in the work environment, you get the same thing. We got a shout out to 314 J Rock. I think you're new. Where are you from? Matt Downer, Screw Love and Relationships. Mr. Drummer Live is back. Answer to tonight's question is simply no. Well said, Mr. Drummer. Bolo from Canada. Good to have you. How's it doing? It's going well. I actually feel I rode the other day with more stamina and endurance. And I think it's because I've changed up my diet and I watch what I put in my body as well. Timmy Kramer, the Forever Bachelor. Enjoyed my freedom today golfing. I kiss nobody's ass in life. If only every man was like that, how different our society would be. Mr. Timmy in Phoenix. Coach Lamont is back. McPherson G, good to see you. Blue pills are everywhere. I would say 99% of men are blue pill. People say, oh, rad, but MGTOW and the red pill is gaining momentum. Yeah, sure. But you can't recruit for it. Someone has to go through a massive breakup or divorce or a bamboozlement to get to this point. And most of the guys will go back into the washing machine. Coach Lamont's from Georgia. Good to have you. I've been to Georgia a few times. That Atlanta airport is so gigantor. What's up, Brad? It's been a while. I haven't watched your lives on the YouTube. Been working too much. David Castro, good to have you. Hope you're doing well. T-Tox is back. Hypergamy has doomed us all men. You know, people say, can you get rid of hypergamy? No, it's just part of the biological consciousness of our counterparts. Carbonated drinks are bad for your bones. All that phosphorus, I guess, right? Matt Downer, you get a better chance of being hit by lightning as you win 3 lotteries at the same time. That is, our modern day. Will society ever value true loving relationships? Again, that's just a question, a theme. I don't think so. I think for the majority of the kids that have grown up in the last 25 years, they've been raised on attention, which is social interneting, social interwebbing, applications, apps, dating apps, TikToks, Instagram. Their brains have literally been hijacked by programmers in Silicon Valley to think, act, and do certain things. It definitely has not made the people in this society more interested in human relationships. So whoever said no, I agree with that sense. Society people say all the time, if there's a big world war, it's going to bring them all back to the plantation. It's going to get them back in line. Men are going to be strong again. Women are going to be, where they need to be and be a co-pilot to the man. Okay, great. Okay, sure. And then what happens when the war is over? After all that programming, what happens? See, it's ingrained programming. That's what you say, hypergamy. Hypergamy is ingrained programming. Men like to create and build and conquer. That is ingrained programming in us. And I believe that when men do not follow that purpose and put other things and people center stage, that is when men become depressed, complacent, bored, just comatose, consciously comatose. and we do not become who we are. We were never meant to put anybody center in our life. We were meant to put our purpose and our central being. However, the last 80 years have proven differently. Facts, most men is blue pill. Well said, Coach Lamont. We got Michelle says, true love is something beautiful. No one is meant to be alone in this life. It is only when we truly love, we begin to understand the true love. Very few people can get to the point of true love. And it sounds like you and your husband and your baby and the baby on the way. I think that's great. I give a 1% to 2% to women out there that could actually be a true woman in today's society. Cam Newton, the professional quarterback, said the same thing, that women today do not follow really the milestones that they should be doing, which is to being married and pregnant and having a family and being a mother. Simple as that. That is the true path of happiness for a woman. The true path of happiness for a man, typically. The true happiness for a man is to get out and build, conquer, create, whether that's financially, physically, mentally, spiritually. Now, there's some women that don't desire to have kids or can't have kids or can't get married that maybe wanted to get married, what have you. You get my drift, 1% to 2%. Tom says, longer-term fasting causes lucid dreams. I have been fasting quite a bit. Jawara says, is fasting 16 hours a day good? It is always good, even a 15-hour fast. 4 to 8 hours, your gut goes to sleep. You've burned off all your insulin. So anything actually over 14 is good, although 16 is where you get great benefits. 18, if you go to 18, that's even better because HGH kicks in. And then 20 is amazing. But if you can hit 24 hours twice a week, you're killing it. I've fasted, this will be my 3rd day of 18-hour fast. I'm going to take tomorrow off, and then I'm going to get back on it. It's all about memory. And if you continue to fast the same way every day, your body will just hit baseline. Let's see. We need to stay strong and avert ourselves from the love of woman. Well, okay, we all like to be desired. But too many people put so much emphasis on that they have to be loved in life. Well, what about we start with yourself? Love yourself and then love others. And it's like when people give of themselves to others, it's greater than receiving the gift. So I would agree with that statement. We need to not seek love and attention from women. That should not be our purpose. If it falls in our lap, or if you don't want it to, again, take what you've learned and navigate your life accordingly. It's as simple as that. Rad is not against relationships. I'm against marriage, cohabitation, and kids for 98% of women out there and 99% of men. I also don't believe in whacked out relationships, and I believe that all relationships eventually will expire. We're humans. We change. We go through issues. I remember my brother-in-law's, my ex-sister-in-law said, oh my gosh, I can't wait. I just want to go through life without changing. Could you imagine getting on your deathbed, 80 years, 85, 90 years old, and saying, oh my gosh, hubby, we never changed. We're the same from the day we got married. What kind of life is that? It's like eating the same pasta every day. Par says a lot of these chicks are undercover 304s. It's been like this for a couple years now. So it's too late to go back. I'd agree with that statement. I mean, look at the apps now. We can't go back. I can tell you, as a woman with my husband, he is the love of my life. My other half, my twin flame, is a strength. Complements my wildness when I need a strength. When I'm weak, my husband and my child. Well, are your true love? Well, it sounds like you grew up with a strong father figure, and you value what most people don't value today. Matt Downer, desire means death. Remember what the Buddha said. Desire meant you lack something. I know, I love myself. Well, you should love yourself. That should be the first person you love, because when you love yourself, you can give of yourself. Silver Bullet is in the house. Good to have you. Rebel, my bandmate CD came today. Going to give it a listen. Catch you later. Awesome, brother. A lot of guys these days want chicks with a body count lower than 10. Not happening. A body count is irreversible. Yeah. once you've gone that far, it's definitely unreversible. And I think people and guys themselves that are having sex at 14, 15, I don't think that's healthy either. I think the consciousness is too immature at that point to really grasp it. And a young woman having relations at such a young age destroys them. I've seen it. Seen it in my own family. All the men going through the great divorce. I can't imagine what it would be like. Let's see, I'm 50, 43 years old when I went through my divorce. I can't imagine what it would be like waiting till today to go through a divorce at 53. Now, financially, I think I would have been fine, but still, that is not definitely something. I heard my friend's wife's parents just divorced at 80 years old. 80 effing years old. She was probably checking out the apps too, the wife. Women need men for survival. Men don't need women for survival, says Sultan Norzad. I think that's true. I think women need the strength of men. And I think that message has been completely bamboozled and distorted in society, that women can be like men. Well, they can, but at the end of the day, that doesn't make it right. Men are leaving relationships because the woman is too difficult. Now, I'm not saying the man is great. So anyone that says I'm, lambasting the gals it doesn't understand me. I'm saying most women that have been raised in the last 25 years seek attention. And if they don't get attention, they have anxiety, which leads to head meds, which leads to all sorts of substances entering their bodies. And it also leads to promiscuity. Go figure. So will that ever be true? As Coach Greg Adams says, regardless if you like him or not, he has mentioned that modern day relationships are monetized. OnlyFans, seeking arrangements. Look on Tinder, look on Bumble when they say, hey, I'll only go out with you if you take me, you have to take me to, they have the list of, you got to take me to a nice restaurant. You got to do nice things for me. You got to gift me nice things. I mean, everything is monetized. Let's see, we got Kirikato X. How do you think dating will be like in 20, 30 to 40? I think I just answered that, my brother. Where are you from? Kirikato X. Sounds like maybe Japanese or of Japanese origin. I don't think it'll be, I think it's a shit show. I'm believing that a lot of young men today between the ages of 15 and 22 that have no experience with women do not look at them anymore. It's a very different world that I grew up in, but I think a lot of these boys will tend to fall into the attraction of transformers because transformers look female, but that's all they can get, so they'll just settle. And I think Greg Adams talked about that. He talked about polyamory and thruples and all sorts of things. You're in the USA. There you go. Glad I'm not dating in this era. I don't see how dating can get any better. No. My boys, I tell my boys, look at the mother. If you're dating a gal, look at the mother. Look to see how much she's on her phone. Does she have multiple orbiters that are male? You have no chance. Even Chads and Tyrones and Pookie Ray Rays, they only get to the front of the line, but they get the same issues in the end. They just get to the front of the line. Sad to say, but guys who pay for it are having the times of their lives right now, and all these apps make it so easy now to pay to play. Well, I think you're right, Pars. I think that today, even if you do it the old-fashioned way and have to take her out on 3 dates and buy her gifts and so forth, you'd probably spend $300 to $500 on the first 3 dates and the things that you give and so forth, and the time you've spent chasing her. And so a lot of guys say, why don't I just pay $250 twice in a month? You still get it. You still get ahead, and there's no commitment. Now, a lot of guys want the commitment. They want a girlfriend. They want a partner. So they're going to do everything in their power to convince somebody of the opposite sex to be their partner, to be their girlfriend, to be their potential fiance. They want the dream, but the dream is now so unattainable. It's not even a dream anymore. Women get bored very quickly. And a lot of these young guys, now I'm not 15 to 22 or even 25, so I don't really understand the social dynamics going through that. I understand testosterone, but I don't understand I can only see what they're going through, because men in my age that are trying to date are having issues as well. Even 35-year-old men. Women are so inundated with orbiters and attention that just because you're 6'2", 172 pounds, make six figures, have a six-pack, good-looking guy, you're still not getting dates. So the whole 666 thing, is it really true? Is it really true? The delusion today of modern day thinking with a lot of the gals typically believe that they are princesses regardless of height and weight. 200-pound girls believe that they're princesses. Sports Illustrated is now showcasing apparently big, beautiful women on their pages of the magazine. They're also recording artists, actresses, and they believe that they are better, if not the same, as supermodels. When I grew up in high school, heavy girls were invisible. I'll let you think what that means. My brother's ex-wife has been passed around like the town bicycle. Pure feminist, says Timmy Kramer. Does everybody get a ride on that village bicycle, Timmy? Love might be possible if fire was the highest tech available. So maybe after World War III, Bolo. I'm not a fatalist, so I could be wrong. Maybe a world war would put all these women back, but I'm a believer in reality, and reality tells me if you've been programmed for 20 years, it's going to be really hard for you to exit that program. But Bolo might be right. Hello, I'm watching from Philippines. Jordan Bueno, good to have you. I have a question. There's a woman who loves me, but I don't feel any feelings. Should I go? No. I don't think you should. I don't think you should get in any relationship except with yourself. I would have to know more about it. Why does she love you? Who is she? Does she have a kid? Do you have more resources? You got to look at what you bring to the table and why she wants that. On RevStream, I was depressed because the trashy, sexy 304 rejected me. I couldn't hit that stream. I watched it afterwards. I was in California. I was going to jump on, but I was in a trade show. Don't worry about it. Everyone gets rejected, guys. That's one thing. It doesn't matter what you look like. You can be Tom Cruise and get rejected. He's been divorced, 3 times? Do you think men should look abroad in foreign countries to find a wife? Well, you might have a little better luck, but you're still dealing with the programming. And a lot of these women are seeking guys to save them. And when they get saved, they get what they want, and then they get what they want outside of you. There's too many horror stories about that. If you like a woman, keep her in her country. Keep her in her country. Do not bring her back to the West. Sports Illustrated. Jesus wept, and Jesus wept to see the. Okay, I'm Gen Z, and let me say, being a simp on the internet is normalized. People around my age are simp, but they keep it a secret. There's a lot of simps. A man that sends an emoji is a simp to a woman. Women should be texting you. You should be responding back with 1 or 2 words. And typically texting should be for logistics. But you're right. There's a lot of simps today because that is the programming of young men. The guy that does not, okay, I've talked to a lot of gals in the last 7 years, and 2 or 3 of them have said the guys that they liked were the guys that ignored them. Not the guys that inundated them with messages. Not the guys that said, hey, good morning, beautiful. Good morning, sunshine. It was the guys that never responded. That's who kept their attention. Good to have that perspective, Pars. Matt's out in Michigan coming down the mountain. The best way to do is to have 7 girlfriends. It's better than having a wife. Is the 7 girls pissed you off, kick them out because the wife, she could take half of your, absolutely are. It's better just to have, short term or seeking arrangements. I'm not opposed to seeking. I don't do that, but I'm not opposed to people that do that. Right? It keeps the emotions out of it. You get what you need. You're still having a transaction. There's transactions in all relationships, marriages, engagements, boyfriend, girlfriend, long-term, even the initial, what do they call it? Flirting and all that crap. There is a transaction. Just depends how deep of a transaction you want. You dig yourself a hole by getting engaged and married, your transaction is 100 times more than that transaction on seeking arrangements. CJ back, CJ Wilkins, good to have CJ. Check out CJ's channel. Check out Chris Mitchell's channel. I don't think Jawara's got a channel. All you guys need channels. Who else am I missing here? From the chat that's got channels. CJ's got some good stuff. Check his channels out. I like to watch his stuff. Yeah, there's a reason why women are always saying their ex was a jerk. That's the number one page. That's the first page of the first chapter of why women leave men. He was a jerk. Why was he a jerk? Did he say no? Typically, it's because they didn't get what they want. But I could be wrong. My experience was if I didn't give my ex what she wanted, I was rude, abusive, and a jerk. I get it. CJ says, hold on. Did I miss Teddy Boy Smith from UK? Hey, Rad, all the girls I work with are addicted to their phones. Phone addiction for 300 Trebek. You can't compete even if you got good game and get on really well. They have a constant flow of attention on tap 24. Absolutely. You tell me how you're going to compete. Women seek validation from other women and disrespect from men. When you honor and revere them, you dry them out. That's got to be the number one principle you must learn right there. Women get dressed for other women. Women compete with other women. They do not compete with you unless it's competing for your attention. And when you give them your attention, it dries them out. I remember in high school, 1990, I graduated. I knew this gal, Tanya Hudson. She was a popular chick. We were friends. She was actually a cool chick. We actually hung out. She dated a bunch of guys. But she'd date these guys, and then the moment they liked her, she'd dump them. Like literally, it was like clockwork. Oh, I go, what happened to this guy? I'm not interested anymore. The chase is over. So I knew she always liked me because you can never be friends with girls, right? I knew she always liked me, but I wasn't attracted to her. She was a cool chick. I looked at her as like a twin sister. And I had a girlfriend at the time, very attractive brunette, a year younger than me. And I remember it was on our grad night. So in the States, we have you graduate and then you go to grad night, which is a party from 10 p.m. till 6 a.m., typically playing, fake poker and food and dance and all that crap. So I remember we're sitting in her house. We're going to get my Datsun 510. I had a 1969 Datsun 510. I'll have to put a picture of it. I bought the car, put an engine in it and so forth. So she says to me, I've always, and we were, she was going to Santa Clara University in California, that really expensive university. I was leaving for my university. And she said, I always liked you. I've always liked you. I've always wanted to be your girlfriend. I said, I knew that. She goes, well, why didn't you do anything about it? I said, well, number one, I'm not really attracted to you. My attraction was completely different. She had more of a natural hippie look. And I said, even if I did, I know your game plan. The moment a man shows interest in you, you dump them. She goes, that's probably why I liked you so much, because you never gave me the attention. There you go. That was 32 years ago. Well said, CJ. Society values what is profitable. Boss chick, harlot behavior, and divorce is way more profitable than obedience, submission, and marriage. Well said. Well said. Guys, society, the currency of today's society is delusion, if you really think about it. If you're delusion, you get head meds, alcohol sales are through the roof, impulse purchasing, getting Sims to pay for all your delusional behavior, divorce, which is a multi-billion-dollar industry, which is the cousin of marriage. Marriage is a multi-billion-dollar industry. So delusion is literally the currency of modern day relationships. And that's what's the profitable thing today. Well, you're absolutely right, CJ. Bolo says, my young nephew said it at the mall, don't put women on a pedestal, just loudly enough for a woman to turn and smile. I think if I was to write a book to young boys today, and they said, Rad, how can I get a girlfriend? I would make it probably like 12 words long, which would be, do everything opposite that you think you should do. If you think you should send her emoji, don't send her emoji. If you think you should buy her gifts, don't buy her gifts. Have her buy you gifts. Do everything opposite. If you think you should smile and flirt with her, do the opposite. Ignore her. You would have 100 times more success doing that than doing what all the Sims do. Swick 555, so much wisdom here. Good to have you. Tell me where you're from. I think you're new. My younger sister girlfriends would go bananas when I went to another room to be by myself growing up. They'd leave the whole group just to find me. What you doing? Remove your attention and you gain their attention, Matthew. You just proven it. Good to have you back in the chat. Shine Customs, Travis Swejiak. Hope I said that right. Why the hell do they do that? Why don't they just want a wholesome quality life? These stupid phones and selfies. I wish it was 1969 with my muscle car and quality time. It's where we're at today. And a lot of guys think they can turn it around. You can. No, thanks Steve Jobs and Google for all the value that phones have brought to us. But at the same time, it's brought the destruction of relationships. When you destroy relationships and family, you destroy society. So was the smartphone really smart? Or was it just clever? Was it just good to have you? Shine Customs, where are you from? The modern woman doesn't seek love and natural order of relationships and marriage until they hit the wall. And even then, they still desire multiple cucumbers and ATMs in their lives. Yeah, and you know what? We don't hate on the women. I mean, what are you going to do? It's programming. We're all programmed. You got the guys today that are under 30 are completely different programmed than how I grew up. The society and the culture I grew up is completely different. We didn't have computers. If you had a computer, you were a nerd. I mean, simple as that. You had my dad, for my graduation present, I got a, what's that damn camera? Konica. A Konica camera. It was like electric, but it was like the coolest thing. It was like $500 my dad got me a camera. I don't even know what the damn thing is a paperweight now. But it's so different. Right? You got Bolo, you got to do the Costanza. Absolutely. George Costanza, that episode when he does everything different. That's funny. Remember, these are the modern women favorite words. I'm not happy. You wasn't giving me enough attention. I don't need no man. I'm an independent woman. You got to pay for my weave. Yeah. I mean, that's the programming. So what you boys are going through today, what you young men are going through today, that's not what I went through. There were relationships in high school. There were relationships. People got married. Hypergamy and Briefalt's law was still there, but it was dormant. How about that? And it woke up during the 2000s when social media and apps came out, around 2007, 2008. That's when it started, when Facebook came out. I don't even think MySpace was that big of a instigator. Or Friendster. Rice, Minnesota. Good to have you. It's cold out there. Thanks for spreading your knowledge about female nature. It helps me a lot. Since a year ago, you're amazing. You got a home here in Guadalajara, Rebel. Guadalajara, the Canterbury City. Well, good to have you. Haven't been to Guadalajara, but I would like to go there. I have heard very great things about Guadalajara women. Saludos, the Cantor. Do women act different at different? Yes, but at the end of the day, a lot of them are just 5-year-olds with breasts. In 1952, the only men she had access to outside of her marriage were local. Now she has access to every man on earth in her pocket. Men who want monogamy or competing for losses. Well said, brother. My daughter was approached by an NBA player who played for the Lakers and started with LeBron, getting 70 grand together to get some hair procedures done. Oh, I just shave that. You don't need to do that. Spend 70 grand and go live down in Mexico for 10 years. Times have changed. Being an a-hole gets you laid. They just get bored too quickly with the nice guy. Even then, women love the bad boy. You know, the Johnny Depp, 21 Jump Street, he was a bad boy back in the 80s. Rob Lowe, Matt Dillon, Kevin Bacon, I don't know how much of a bad boy he was. Jason Patrick, some of the actors that were a couple years older than me, seem to be the bad boys. Val Kilmer. But yeah, I mean, Fonzie, they made a whole TV series about Fonzie. Yeah, he was a bad boy in a lot of ways, but he was also a simp in a lot of ways too. I agree 100%, Rad. Before 2008, people actually had to leave the house and put in some work in order to cheat and get validation. Absolutely. It wasn't easy. And what are they going to do? There was no extra mobile phone to call. Are you going to call the home phone? There was only one line. I remember when call waiting came out. Call waiting was the biggest thing in sliced bread for a teenage boy in the 80s. Because then if a girl called, you could just click over. My mom would click over. Oh, yeah, hold on. Let me get him in a second. I'll hang up with the person I'm on and so forth. Guys don't even know what call waiting is. Call waiting was the biggest game changer in relationships back in the day. And now, and women had, let's just say a woman got a haircut. She had to wait to go and pick the child up at school or go to the church or see somebody at the grocery store to have someone comment. You know, you didn't take pictures. And now they post it with literally 2 seconds. Even during the haircut, they're posting it and getting likes. It's a different world we live in. Makes me sad to think that the nuclear family is a thing of the not so distant past. I have a few friends still married, but most are not. Yeah, me too, Silver Bullet. It is a thing of the past. Legendary John Boston is in the house. Ask John Boston about call waiting. Caller ID. Remember when you had to pay for it? What about Keanu? Keanu was cool. Although he does the same role, I do like him in John Wick, and I liked him in Point Break. I liked him in Speed. But, you know, he's Keanu Reeves. Seems like a nice guy. But I think he's a little mysterious, and I think chicks like that. But who knows? I remember call waiting. You had to pay for it. My aunt received $5,000 a month from one of my uncles in spousal support after he caught her cheating on him. Next 10 years, she took him to court 12 times saying it wasn't enough. Oh, geez. And the courts allow it, guys. The courts will continue to allow it because it is a money generator. It does not help families. It helps line the pockets and keeps those buildings in business. Marriage would not exist without divorce and vice versa. Think about that. Remember the busy signal. Oh, I do. My sister would always sit by the phone and she'd say, get off the phone. If Chris calls, I need to talk to him. So I get off the phone an hour later and she'd say, did he call? Which he probably did because he kept beeping in. I never answered the beep. John Boston, I had a woman send me a pic of her haircut while she was sitting in the chair and done at the hairdresser. There you go. Right there. Right there. I could use your and the chat's advice on something my parents recently retired a couple of months ago in our homeland of Ireland. I'm scared come March of not having my mom and dad with. Well, I hope everything works out. Hang in there. Ask the chat. Any advice to a male in his 20s based on your experience? Just go enjoy life. Do not put a woman center. Read my booklet, which gives some good advice. And just learn to be alone. You will spend more time trying to figure out life and trying to get women, and it will not work out. Very rare will it work out in today's modern day society. Programming's too deep. So if it's not going to work out or it's too difficult to find a woman to have as a relationship that has the same desire to build her life with you, you're going to spend all of your time and energy for something that has no return on investment. So go and put it on yourself. Go travel, get strong, learn a language, learn an instrument. I mean, we've got FJT in the chat and on this channel, who's 28, 29, learning languages, playing guitar, making money, traveling, and he's happy. Now, if a lady pops in his life, he knows that he's red pill. No marriage, no cohabitation, no kids. But just go out and live. All right, Pars, have a good one. I think you're going to see more and more self-deletions, especially in the next 6 months based on our economy. Bolo says, read about stoicism, stack cash. And skills. Learn skills. Learn how to make fires. Learn how to tie knots. Learn how to purify water. Learn how to cook instant meal. Learn how to navigate. Learn to use the compass. Learn to know directions. Learn to read all sorts of things. Learn another language. Learn self-improvement ideas. Learn self-defense. Lots of things we can occupy ourselves with. Absolutely. Improve yourself, the Cantor PC from Guadalajara. Work in a 5-year relationship right now, co-parenting, keeping peace, so many similar interests, doing the counseling thing, trying to learn how to make stuff work. You stop talking, they start caring. Let's go ahead and emphasize that. You stop talking, they start caring. 100%. Love everything you're saying. Love the vids, but it makes it hard with kids. I have 3 kids. I know exactly what you're thinking. It is tough. Kids, still this day, my youngest will be not a minor in the next 7 months. But, they're still my kids. And all I do with my boys is teach them how to be strong. And they have rules and discipline and a foundation of accountability. That's what I'm teaching my 2 boys. My daughter is, at this point in life, is doing her own thing with the influence of her mother, which is fine. I don't agree with it, but I accept it. But I teach my boys accountability and responsibility. If you really, truly want to give boys and girls gifts, that's it. Accountability and responsibility. Throw integrity for good measure. But if they have accountability, they have integrity. RP Hope is back. Good to see you. Chris Mitchell, check out his channel. Skills are key. Hey, check out Chris Mitchell's channel when he makes pizzas. These pizzas look better than restaurant pizzas. So shout out to Chris's channel. Somebody throw it up there, as well as CJ's channel. Rad, could you imagine being 20 and trying to date with all the social media? Nope. Did you hear Intel's laying off 20% of its staff? No surprise. I grew up in Oregon where Intel has a huge semiconductor factory. Yeah. They were definitely a server-based and computer chip company. They kind of lost out on the mobile, and that's the way we're going. But I could not imagine dating today. First and foremost, respect yourself. If I was a youngster, it'd be a shit show. I mean, you'd spin your wheels. You find a girl and you realize she's got 300 orbiters. How do you compete? Thank you, Rebel. I'm hoping the chat will help me with advice because I had my parents with me when I gave birth, but now that my parents are retired, they'll probably be there. Mr. Hemi is back in the chat. One of my wrenches. Good to have Hemi. He's been through marriage and divorce. Ask him. Majority of modern Americans would have no idea how to live without modern tech. The effects of it are only getting pronounced because kids are growing up without fathers. Well said, Tommy. Technology should not be a parent. And unfortunately, in today's world, technology is the parent. I remember trying to take the phones from the kids by around 9 o'clock at night so that they could get that blue light and be able to sleep. But my ex intervened and said, they need to do homework on their phones. Really? Did you do homework on your phones growing up? No. How do you do homework on a phone? You typically word process on a computer or a typewriter. These people don't even know what a typewriter is. But today's parents are now applications, apps on phones. Well said, Tommy. I guess who we got? Marcella makes an appearance. Good to have Marcella. Hope you're doing well. Are you still dating the one guy? Marcella. Compiling a good kit is a head start too. Good knife, trap, mess kit, then use them. Learn to tie knots. Learn to have flint and steel, right? If matches are gone, learn how to use flint and steel. Learn how to build a fire out of dry moss and slivers and kindling. You know? Go watch Jeremiah Johnson with Robert Redford when he uses all of his outdoor skills. I think men should watch that movie. Society values relationships brought to them by all the thirsty simps. Relationships are dead like racism, says our brother Jerron Markel from Brooklyn. I'm still waiting for another song on your Korg synthesizer. Let's see. Jerron Markel's new Korg synthesizer songs for 300 Trebek. I think that's the first time I've done a $300 Trebek to one of the participants in the chat. Oh. There's no such thing as love, only leverage. So no need for a relationship or that's very well said. There is no such thing as love, only leverage. Leverage to the next greater potential of typical of most women. 98% Rad does not recommend. And they do leverage the man of what they get today for something greater. Now, you're looking at Jeff Bezos' ex-wife who just divorced the simp. Remember, she married down. No wonder that wasn't going to work. You don't marry down, you marry up. She married down to show everyone that she was, a commoner. She wasn't, it didn't work. Either the guy got really jealous or I don't know what the deal is, but he was a teacher and he made $60,000 a year. She had 60 billion. You tell me how that's going. The only person that works for her now is like an Elon Musk. There's only one of those guys. Or a guy who else has $60 billion in the top 10? She's in the top 10. You do not go down, you go up. Timmy Kramer says at 57, I still crank up the lawnmower, wash my truck, clean my house, take care of my body. I take pride. Well said. I still I just washed my floors today. I vacuum, I clean my own cars. I do the exact same thing. I actually find pride in cleaning my house. But I keep it pretty spectacular because I'm a single guy that doesn't have a lot of, I'm a minimalist. It's amazing how your house will be clean if you put the dishes in the dishwasher after you use them instead of having them stack up. If you wash your clothes and then you fold your clothes and you maintain and you fold up the blankets when you're done using them. Hunting is a primary key. Human hunting is optional but highly recommended. Chris Mitchell, the Emperor. I just wish everyone would shut phones off, eat dinner, talk about day, play a game, put kids to bed, pleasure your partner, and repeat. Seems so easy, man's thinking. You're right, brother. Yes, I'm still dating the guy with 7 kids. More important question is, who are you dating? Rad dates rad. I'm dating my bicycle that has always been loyal and doesn't annoy me. Marcelo, good question. Here in the West, if your girlfriend or wife has a job or too many social media accounts, best believe she will die. My sister had an affair by social media back in 2008. I believe my ex-wife hooked up with the guy on social media and is still with him. What are your thoughts on Austin Holloman? I don't know, Torres. Good to have you back. I don't know who that is. Let me know who he is. Think about it, fellas. Commitment to all females is security. She doesn't have to bring her A game. She can let herself go. Females are the ones that want to be under that government contract. 98% are not recommended, Jaron, aren't they? I learned for the bad way that cohabitation was a bad idea, particularly for me. Then I realized that my time cannot be shared as I planned. I was ignorant and more young. Well, we've all been there. And we've all been there. We learn from our mistakes and we go forward. And realize that men, when you live with somebody, okay, if you've gone to university or college and have had a roommate, you get tired of that roommate, right? If you, even growing up with your family, did you ever get tired of your brothers and sisters being around you? Now, think about that when you cohabitate with a woman, whether that's marriage or living with someone. You're going to get annoyed. It's just, that's reality. That's human nature. Marnie says men should stop listening to, well, it takes away from her, her money. What are your thoughts on the passport bros? I think you got to be really careful. People ask me all the time, and I speak Spanish. I've lived in South America. I understand the culture, and you've still got to be careful. I would never consider hooking up on a dating app with someone in a foreign country. They're waiting for you. Let's just say that. They have the guy last night, they'll have the guy tomorrow night. They're waiting for you tonight. Just because you're there, they're not looking for your heart. They're looking for your wallet. Can we start a rad dating site? I never say date. I say let's hang out. On the first date, you pay for her, and every day of 10 years, you pay for her, only for her to quit giving you SCX. After the honeymoon, marriage is a scam. You know what? Why do they just call it the honeymoon? The honeymoon lasts, it's a temporary time, let's say a week to a month. The honeymoon phases last up to 6 months maybe, and then it's gone. What's the next stage after the honeymoon? I bet you're breaking a lot of hearts, all the women out there wanting to be with you. Oh, geez. I don't think they notice rad. I was just joking with my friend, but serious at the same time. If I date anyone else, they are going to have to pass the test. The first test has to be literally visual. Do they have any red flags, tattoos, huge piercings, cake face, crazy eyes, fake everything, frozen faces, inflated lips? You can pass 98% off right there. When you were married, what did you do when you saw an attractive woman? How did you not like that? When I saw an attractive woman, I'm sure I was attracted. I'm a man. But I also knew at the back of my mind, 20 minutes in the bed would be stupid for my family. So I never was, I never entertained it, but I definitely admired attractive women. I made it again. 26 male, California. How's it going? Kuro 00. Good to have you, brother. We're doing good now that you're here. Good to have you. What was the difference between Hispanic women and American when you were there? Well, Hispanics, definitely, the culture is more endearing to men than I believe the Western woman. I think but they have their own challenges, strengths and weaknesses. I think you'd have a better chance in a Latin American country with a Latin American woman in 2022, maybe just a slight edge, but you're still dealing with a female brain as you have a male brain. Let's see, being financially wiped out in divorce court keeps me from seeking a relationship. If courts didn't force the transfer of money, you're right. I mean, you basically lost all trust. That's what I'm hearing. Same thing with me. I learned all these lessons 35 years ago. Oh, at 35 years old, just got out of an 8-year relationship. Everyone says I got lucky. Good to have the mute channel here. By not having kids, you did. You did get lucky. You don't want to go through divorce court with custody and breaking up a marriage. Good for you. Get out. Where is the mute channel from? Most people I've met who are anti-RP or MGTOW benefit from beta males and sympology. By waking up men, you are harming their business structure. Modern day currency, right there. My opinion, Facebook, TikTok, crap chat, Instacrap, Twatter are for total losers. I would agree with that statement. Marcel, you're too kind. Female obesity at 85%. What do they say? The average woman today is 5'4" and 170 pounds. This female got mad at me because she wears a wig and I rejected her. Imagine if I came home and hung my muscles in a closet. Well, it's funny, Jerron, a lot of women, I was in a trade show and we have this gal, she's a black gal, really nice, young gal, 25, from Texas, never saw the ocean in her life, 25 years old, but she had a weave on. And apparently weaves are very popular with African American women, and I'm assuming they take it off every night and put it on in the morning, right? Because every time I saw her on the trade show, her hair was just a little off than the day before. But yeah, I mean, women are able to do all that stuff. Whereas if I showed up with my wig or a toupee, people would think I'm crazy. But if I show up with the weave or extensions or tons of makeup or fake everything, it's normal. Crazy how that works. Nowadays, when I have to speak to an attractive woman I respect, I repeat to myself silently, agents of chaos, agents of chaos. Gerald Montagna is back. Good to have you. Isn't it amazing how when a woman cheats and destroys the family, it is assumed it's always the man's fault? The man's fault for 300 Trebek. Well said, John. Men haven't woken up by now. They're in for a rude awakening, Jerron Markel. A shame that so many of the men are willing to put themselves last in order to keep their families together are the ones who often get violated and divorce scraped in the end. You're right. You're right. Eddie A. back. Romance was created by Harlequin novels and now Hallmark movies. There's a video I did about women and men got together 100 years ago because men needed to build a farm or a legacy and needed 16 kids to do it and needed a strong woman to raise those kids while he plowed the fields. And the woman looked for a strong man to do that. Love was not the initial motivator. It was building a legacy. And then eventually, they respected each other so much that love became a natural byproduct of the initial relationship structure, which was to have kids and build a foundation and a legacy to maintain and keep alive. Simple as that. Take your first date swimming. Attaboy. I see you talking about 80s rock and metal. I just learned Panama, Edward Van Halen, and also some Nothing More. My buddy was talking about Nothing More today. That's awesome, brother. I love metal. In fact, the Cult just came out with a new one. I'm on the fence about it. And then Bush came out with one just recently too, a new one, which is really heavy rock. And the last two Bush CDs kick ass. 170 pound is insane for the average woman. I would agree. It's a lot of weight to carry around. Agents of Chaos, Gerald Montagna, who was supposedly the alpha male guy in the 80s, whether it was movie stars or athlete. Oh, geez. I mean, Matt Dillon. I would say Keanu Reeves later. Not really. Val Kilmer. Rob Lowe. Right? Athletes, geez. Good question. I have to think about that one. Jim McMahon from the Chicago Bears. I'm just sitting and listening, Rad. How are you doing tonight? Good to have you, Surf Shack. I'm doing well. I think Surf Shack's got a channel. Check him out. It's not yours. It's only your turn. If more men understood that, more men would be well equipped to go through life alone. Harlot novels always have a cover of a studly guy with an open shirt exposing his hairy chest. My sisters and my mom would read those trashy novels. You know, the classic with the Fabio on front, what you're talking about. And then the title of the book would be In the Meadow of Passion, or In the Fire and Ice, or something goofball like that. But women love fantasy, and fantasy is what women love to live in. But fantasy is not reality. Blue pill guys love the fantasy too. She'll love me. I'm just going to hold on. I know we're friends, but she's going to see those jerks. They're going to leave her, and then she's going to realize exactly what she has. We're going to run off in the sunset, and I'm going to be the Forrest Gump that Jenny needed, right? Do you play any instruments? I do. I play guitar. Been doing guitar for years. Got a pretty cool music vid on. Well, check it out. Put your channel up. Here's my guitar right here. Fender Strat. Been playing it for years. Taught myself. Yeah, put your channel up. Shine Customs. Let's hear some riffs. What Chinese products can you go without, Rad? Well, apparently everything in this world is built in China. Even a lot of the ingredients you get at McDonald's are manufactured in China. I think the only thing that's not manufactured are potatoes. But you never know. Maybe the potatoes go to China and get packaged there. Who knows? Guys, if China decides to cut us off, you better know how to make a fire and eat bugs. Or have like a way to till a garden and have vegetables, because it's over. 90% of all medications come from China. What's going to happen when the women can't get the head meds? Well said, Jaron. Is there any hope left? There is hope. But you have to reconfigure your life based on what you know now. Right? It's more living off the grid. It's more being cognizant of life, relationships, financial stability. It's living as a minimalist. So there you can get through it. The Hallmark Channel is filled with romantic mind syrup. You nailed it on the blue pill, male delusion, and fantasy. That's all it is. Blue pill is fantasy, red pill is reality. I got a buddy that I keep telling him, man, I'd love to believe what you believe, but I'm a realist. And reality shows me a completely different thing than what fantasy is trying to tell me. It's as simple as that. Johara, let's hear a riff. Man, someday. The Disney syndrome, pure shite and fantasy. I was just in Anaheim, literally right next to Disney. I was at the Hilton Anaheim Convention Center. It was Disney junkies. Heard the fireworks every night at 10 o'clock. And I saw a couple of people I think they just got married, wearing their Disney outfits together. Talk about simp. I don't trust the Chinese exports they give us. I don't either, Matt. The biggest the Chinese export right now is TikTok. And in China, TikTok is used for education purposes only. Math questions, math help, science, learning other languages. And here TikTok is used for delusion, promiscuity, attention. And the Chinese are just owning us. They see the exact delusion. So when the weakness hits that ultimate level, man, they make their move. There are squirrel recipes on YouTube. Check them out before the power goes out. Who was I talking to that ate squirrels? Oh, someone I know. Mother in the 40s or 50s would eat squirrels growing up. Awesome. Curious Syndicate, Sell Yourself is the song. I'll have to check it out, brother. Chinese investors were seeking to buy my ranch. Blackstone also made offers. Wow. Jawara, killing it. Would you ever sell your home? I'm very well leveraged in my home right now in a very, very good way. It definitely would be a nice income earner for me if I rent it out. Right now, I don't think I'm going to touch the sales just because it's real estate has been a shit show. I think Timmy Kramer could probably give us a better update, but I don't think a lot of people are buying right now. In fact, a lot of the houses in my neighborhood, which is a very nice neighborhood, very close to Salt Lake, newer with all the shops, very highly desirable. And most of these homes are for sale. They're not pending. They're not sold like they were 6 months ago. Ooh, custom J-Craft. I love it. Good for you, brother. That's a nice guitar. There's always hope, except a female. It's those who are prepared that will survive the long night, and it's usually a man. There you go. Keyboardist here. We got Gerald Montagna, keyboardist. Kuro, Jerron Markel is another one. I've heard Jerron stuff. I saw that TikTok thing where in China, TikTok teaches the kids the useful thing. Here they're taught delusion. Delusion is wiping away consciousness. TikTok is a consciousness eraser. It's literally zombifying society. What do I think of Joker's desire to start a retreat? I think that men are very finicky. I think 21 Studios is going on right now. I don't know how many people attend 21 Studios, but I think it's really difficult for men to run to a retreat. I did think when I was going through my divorce how cool it would have been to have a place where men could go if they've been kicked out of their house by the court or they're going through a divorce and they can get together and talk and support each other. I think that would be cool. However, most men are too quiet. Most men do not want to talk about their issues, their depression or their sadness, the frustration, and they'll bottle it up. And most men will not go that route. That is why YouTube has been wonderful for guys going through these challenges. Now, would a retreat be cool? I bet he would probably have a good turnout. Maybe if he did it with maybe had some music up here or some cool activities where guys could get together. I don't think it would be a bust. I just don't think hundreds and hundreds of men would go. Maybe. I could be totally wrong. Sorry for some males realize that most of the females they grow up watching these days, fantasy movies, try to replicate these histories or getting the expectation of this. Yes, men watch these videos and they think they can get what's in the movie on the outside. And that's just fantasy. 2023, I don't know. I think China's going to come in and buy a bunch of them up. Maybe Blackstone. Suspect device, TikTok, Chinese, that algorithm is, I don't have that crap, never had it, but I've seen people just literally, they're glued to their phones watching these stupid friggin' videos. Leonardo DiCaprio in the house. Good to see you, brother. Hope you're well. We could start an online rap band collaboration. I have an insane drummer. We love Dream Theater and Protest the Hero. There you go. During the market crash and recession in 2008, China bought a lot of industrial real estate, exiting the matrix. Well said, brother. I'm going to shut it down in a second, but you guys have been awesome. When I move out, I'm getting out of these Democrat, liberal, angry black sections. It's absolutely ridiculous. Have you seen the midterm coaxing of the blacks? No voting, no bucking. It's all a big shit show. You guys have been great. Remember, keep working on yourself. Society is completely bamboozled. There's no turning back. And if there's no turning back, the only thing you can do is move forward with yourself. Till next time, rebel against defeat, chase excellence, masculinity, men first.